Hi guys, and welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be doing Martin Fowler from EastEnders versus Martin Fowler from EastEnders. We're going to be doing a versus round, and this is something I did last year with My Family and Outnumbered, and we are going to be not really comparing them, but doing who I personally think's the best Martin. Who's the best Fowler? Who's got that Fowlerness? You know, that's what we're going to do today. So yeah. So we're going to have James Alexandrou, who is a legendary EastEnders actor, obviously, versus James By, who is very good as Martin as well. We're going to be comparing them, talking about them, and yeah, let's get into this. James A versus James B. James Alexandrou played him between 1996 all the way to 2007. James By's played him since 2014 and still holds the place of the character of Martin. So we're going to be doing that, but let's get something out of the way first. I'd just like to do a quick mention to John Payton Price, who played the original Martin Fowler in EastEnders. Just a quick character thing about Martin. Martin was the first baby to be born in EastEnders. That is a fact. That's mental, isn't it? He was the first baby to be born in EastEnders. Yeah. But the original Martin, John, who I've just mentioned, he played him for the first 11 years. He didn't really do much. And then when Alexandrou came in, he got a little bit more, a lot more stuff. He also kind of had that. Alexandrou got lots of stuff that we're going to get into in a minute. So, in the first section, we're going to be talking about family connections. Now, this is something that is quite strong for both of them, because they've got quite a lot of family. Brother dynamics. I've got to say, as brother dynamics go, I've got to say Martin and Mark were very close as brothers. They fought. They still got back together though. They were always arguing sometimes, and also he was there. Mark was always there for Martin, even after his dad died. He was there and he looked after him. He technically raised him, and yeah, and you really see their connection even at Mark's funeral. You see how much Martin's crying because he absolutely adores him. He was his brother. He's one of the people who kind of looked after him, and yeah, you really see that connection. And I really do enjoy their relationship on screen. It's just amazing seeing Todd Carty's amazing as Mark, and also Martin, played by Alexandrou, doing an amazing performance. Them two together is just really brilliant. I really enjoy their acting together. I feel like very good stuff. And also their fight in the middle of the square in the market, that's always a scene that I've always gone back and rewatched because I've always loved it. It's brilliant the way they kind of argue over him leaving and stuff like that. Really love that scene. Another scene that I always find that always comes back to me in the head is when Alexandrou, James Alexandrou playing Martin, he goes to see Derek, and Derek knows about Mark dying, and he's there, and he's like, he's going to get really angry with you. He was like, you are only the lodger, and then he goes like that, and then he whacks him, and then he says, yes, you can have that one, and then afterwards he hits him again. Obviously Derek, bouncing back, but Derek and Martin, that's a relationship we need to talk about. Now, Derek, in, I think, about 2002, 2001-ish, he kind of looked after him and kind of protected him, and I feel like that was a really good dynamic, because obviously Martin had lost his dad, and Alexandrou was very sad about this. His character of Martin was very sad. I really enjoyed that kind of portrayal, very good. And the way they kind of like argued and stuff like that, it felt like a father and son relationship. Even when Pauline went away for a few days, Derek was looking after him, making sure he was alright and stuff like that, making sure he didn't get out with stuff with his girlfriend Alison. and stuff like that. I felt like he had a real father figure and really wanted to protect him, because obviously, you know, Mark had gone away and obviously his dad had died, so I guess that kind of protection. I always thought that that was really nice, their kind of dynamic, and really enjoyed that. Another thing we're going to move on to is Martin and Pauline. Now, Martin and Pauline, what can I say about Martin and Pauline? Love their relationship. I feel like both, I feel like Martin and Pauline really get on really well, because they clash a lot, because they are quite similar, but then also quite aggro at the same time. They got that Fowler kind of, you know, argumentative side, and I feel like that really works, and I really enjoy their relationship, you know. Especially, there's a scene when Mark obviously dies, and then Martin's like, "This is the first I've heard of this," and he's like, gets in that really kind of aggro mood with Pauline, and he starts crying. He gets really aggro, and he's like, he wants to beat Derek, obviously, which I mentioned earlier, and I enjoy that scene because it's really great. I love that. Alexandrou, they're amazing. And also, James Alexandrou also, as Martin, faced up to Phil Mitchell. Now, how many people do that in EastEnders? Not very many at all. Now, he stood up to Phil Mitchell, and he told him what was right, and he wanted to know where Sonia and Rebecca, his daughter, and his wife had gone, and he wouldn't tell him. So he kidnapped Ben. He kidnapped Ben Mitchell. He hanged him, like, over the train lines and over the top of the bridge. And yeah, let me guess, this got Phil Mitchell really angry. And he said, "If you ever pull any stunts like that again, you'll go like that." And that's my impression of Phil Mitchell, also going like that to him. Amazing kind of stuff like that. Just incredible. Alexandrou section amazing. And also, when James Alexandrou, in one of the most heart-hitting storylines, ran over Jamie Mitchell. He ran him over, and he felt deeply sorry for this. He didn't try to do this. And obviously, Phil got angry at him again, and like tried to, you know, absolutely beat him completely. Which is a scene that I think was really incredible scene. Like, Martin was really upset. He didn't mean to kill him. He wasn't looking where he was going when he was driving, and that unfortunately led to the demise of Jamie Mitchell. But Phil was not happy with this, and he said, "I'll cut your liver out and give it to Jamie for Christmas." That's what he said. And yeah, that was a scene I really loved, because it really worked together. Really amazing. Alexandrou and Steve McFadden really worked together as well. So James Alexandrou, you're a legend. So moving on. On the other hand, James By. James By has played Martin Fowler since 2014, and yeah, he's got a good connection with Sonia. I have to mention this, but Alexandrou also had a very good connection with Sonia as well. But he has a very good connection with Sonia, and I do like that a lot. That's quite good. They did for the first-ish until they got divorced, which is a bit weird. Martin and Sonia stayed together when they were off-screen for quite a long time. What does that tell you? That's very odd, isn't it? But I really like this James By's version. I feel like he is very good. He lacks the Fowlerness. No offence to James By. I feel like it's because he hasn't got, you know, he hasn't got Pauline, he hasn't got Mark, he hasn't got that kind of section. He also hasn't really got Derek as well. He kind of lacks that family dynamic that he had, because obviously those characters are dead apart from Derek, obviously, which I feel like he lacks. But he does have one thing that James Alexandrou didn't, and that was that he actually got to meet Michelle, which obviously he didn't. He's had that connection with Michelle. He gets angry with... He had that connection with Michelle for a little while, but not much. She wasn't there for that long. But something I can say about James By's portrayal as Martin is that he has quite a big family. I mean, he's got 3 daughters and 1 son, even though only 2 of the daughters are actually his, and the son is obviously Cush's. He really bounces off Cush as well, and I feel that's very good, because Cush and Martin, they kind of have that relationship. I thought that was very good. You know, they kind of argue with each other, but they still make up. And yeah, I feel that's really good. James Alexandrou had that with some of his mates in EastEnders, and I thought their dynamic was really great. But this one was quite good as well. It's a shame we didn't see Cush earlier, but Martin and Cush, really good. Really enjoy that sort of stuff. Something I should probably mention is that James Bye feels more like a Slater rather than a Fowler. That's something I should probably mention because he was with Stacey, which was very odd, obviously. But he was with Stacey for quite a long time. Obviously, they had a child together, and also he was involved in a storyline where his son wasn't his son, and he'd called him Arthur Fowler after, you know, Daddy Fowler, you know, Arthur, which I thought was a very interesting kind of storyline where you kind of see what's going on for Martin. You feel sorry for Martin because he thought that Arthur was his son, but actually he wasn't, and stuff like that. And you also kind of see how much Martin cares about for lots of other people in this round. I probably should say something. Martin, this version of Martin gets involved in quite a few fights. James Alexandrou did as well, but he gets involved in quite a few fights as well. But yeah, he doesn't really have the same confrontation with Phil Mitchell. We haven't seen that yet since he's been back in 2014, but maybe we'll see that in the future. Who knows? That'd be really great to see. But yeah, that's kind of what I have to say on that. James Bye was also close to Lily, who was his adoptive daughter, and I feel that their relationship is pretty good as well. He also married Ruby, and I don't know why the hell he married Ruby. That was a bit weird. I don't know. It's a bit odd. But James Bye, brilliant guy, brilliant acting skills. Both of them just amazing completely. Now, my conclusion. So, my conclusion overall, my favourite version of Martin is definitely James Alexandrou's portrayal. Partly because he feels more Fowlerish. He has those connections with Pauline and Mark and their kind of relationship. Mark keeps on being mentioned in EastEnders at the moment, so I feel like that's they're kind of going to give, you know, James Bye more of that impact on Mark as well, which I feel feels good and kind of balances them out a bit more. But Alexandrou, in my opinion, is my favourite Martin Fowler, because I don't really know how to describe it, but he just is. There's something about him that feels more Fowlery. He looks a bit more Fowlery, if I can be honest. He looks more like the Fowlers. But one thing I can say about the cast is that James Bye and James Alexandrou look very similar. Some people get them confused. I know I've seen people talk about them. Some people think they're the same person. I don't, but some people do. But they do look very similar. Yeah, so I've got to say both Martins equally as good, but I think my personal favourite Martin is Alexandrou's, partly because of those Fowler connections, I feel like. But I've got to say James Bye definitely has that more of that family feel with his family. And also, they both run a fruit and veg stall very well. And I've got to say, Martin Fowler is one of the best characters in EastEnders. My second favourite character in EastEnders. And I like both of their portrayals. I'm not saying one's better than the other. But just in my opinion, Alexandrou, you are a legend. I loved you in EastEnders. I wouldn't mind seeing you back in EastEnders at some point. But as James Bye's playing you now, I don't know whether that will ever happen. But yeah, loved both of your portrayals, and yeah, both Martins were both good. I'll hopefully be doing a character file review on Martin some point in the near future, but I hope you all enjoyed the video. Please remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in a video soon enough. Bye for now.